Hello everybody, my name is Chaz, and today we're talking about the NBT Evo ID6 features and functions. I'll be going into a deep dive of everything that this system has to offer, and hopefully you'll walk away from this video much more comfortable managing through an NBT Evo system. Stay tuned. If you decide to upgrade your BMW iDrive system with BimmerTech, not only will you get the NBT Evo kit that contains BMW OEM parts, you'll also get all the features activated with BMW coding software. You'll get things like CarPlay, Android screen mirroring, BMW apps, and the latest maps for your region. You'll have video and services in motion, and everything else you'd expect from the factory. If you have Apple devices, go into your settings under Bluetooth, and then go into your media, select Manage Mobile Devices, and then we'll connect a new device for using CarPlay features. Then select Connect to Apple CarPlay and confirm. Follow the prompts on the screen. Back at your device, you'll see the BMW identification show up in your Bluetooth menu. Allow it to pair and continue to follow the prompts given. And once you confirm the pairing, continue to follow the prompts and allow it to make its connection. The last step is the final prompt to use CarPlay for your device. Once you're good to go, your iDrive system will then go back into your mobile devices menu and you'll see a CarPlay icon next to your device. To access the CarPlay, we'll tap back until we end up back in the main menu. You'll then notice a small Apple CarPlay icon on your bottom left. Highlight it and select it, and you're in the CarPlay. Let's try some voice commands with Siri. On your steering wheel, you'll see the voice command button. Press it. Siri, play my Groove Lounge playlist.
Playlist Grove Lounge now playing.
Siri, stop my music.
Okay, pause.
Let's make a reminder. Siri, give me a reminder in 1 hour to call Nelson.
Okay, your reminder is set for today at 5:04 p.m.
In Messages, let's send a text. Send a text message to Nelson.
What do you want to say?
How is your day going? So send your text messages as usual, and when you receive a text, you can go ahead and select it with your finger on the touchscreen if you have one.
Nelson, BimmerTech private number set doing great. Can't complain.
Hitting back on our iDrive controller, you have other features like split screen. You can mess around with your music. Plus, you can also go into Google Maps. Using the iDrive controller, we'll go ahead and we'll add a destination, and we could start giving Google Maps a try. And when you're done using Apple CarPlay, select the menu button on your iDrive controller to back out of it. Let's grab our Android device and plug it into the USB port. The system will request access to the data on your phone. Click Allow. Then back in your iDrive screen, select Add Device. You'll be welcomed by a brief notification screen with directions on how to add a device. On your Android device, swipe from top down, swipe again, and you'll slide it over to see the Smart View or Screencast icon. Select it, at which point you'll see the BMW identification you need to select. And once you've selected the correct identification, the screen will then go back to your home menu and show a Smart View icon. Then you'll be all set to go. I'll pull up a YouTube video to show you how well it works. It's working great. It's important to note that later model Android devices seem to work better, but if you go into Manage Mobile Devices, you can scroll through here to add and subtract different devices that may or may not be working with your system. And if you haven't had a chance to yet, head over to bimmer-tech.net and check out the blog section. Once you're in there, you can navigate down the screen and cycle through to see the corresponding blog for this video. As you can see here, there's a lot of in-depth information that you can go through. There's some side-by-side comparisons between the ID5 and ID6 there as well. We even try to give you guys more information by attaching things like full-on tutorials and further in-depth reviews. The NBT Evo ID5 ID6 is a BMW iDrive system sometimes referred to as iDrive 5.0 6.0. It was first announced at the end of 2015, and some 2016 models that came to the market already equipped with it. The NBT Evo ID5 ID6 was developed as the successor to NBT and NBT Evo ID4, and it has completely different hardware as well as a new user interface. If your BMW originally wasn't equipped with it, it doesn't mean you can't have it. BimmerTech's NBT Evo ID5 ID6 retrofit is available for BMW 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and X series of both F and G generations. Let's go into vehicle status. Getting things started, if you press Option when you're in the main menu, the Option menu will pop up and allow you to do things like split screen, turn off control display, change driver profile, contents of the main menu, and display settings. For example, if you want to change some of the features that are shown on your instrument panel, you can go in there and start selecting different things that'll show up as you're driving. And if you go back to control display, you can adjust the brightness of your display. Like if you happen to be driving at night, you can turn it down so your eyes don't get as fatigued as quickly. Some other options under contents of the main menu, you can actually change things on your navigation to switch to arrow display if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to see maps while you're driving. And underneath My Vehicle, you can actually change what is displayed on the live tile itself. There's a more simplified, a slightly more detailed onboard info, and then there's a more in-depth driving style analysis. Let me bring your attention back to the home screen, because when ordering an NBT Evo system, you actually have the option to upgrade to a touchscreen, as there are vehicles that don't come equipped with one from the factory. Let's give it a try by touching the home icon at the top left that allow you to rearrange the tiles to personalize your driving experience a little further. And once you're done, you can go ahead and tap on the home icon. You can also use your iDrive controller to rearrange the tiles as well. If you double tap on your menu button, you can toggle left and right to rearrange the tiles, and then scroll left to right to select the tile desired. And once you have everything laid out the way you want it to be, you can go ahead and hit the menu button once more to keep those settings. Another feature within each tile submenu is now you have the option to customize each menu within those tiles. You can hit the personalize menu once you're in there and scroll through all the different options that you want to have present when you're browsing through each tile. You can see I deleted the AM and now it's no longer available to select. But if you go back to personalize menu, you can check it back on, go back, and it'll be there to use once more. So heading back to the main menu, if you press the media button on your iDrive controller, the currently active media will be shown. Press the button once more, a submenu will pop up that allows you to select which one you want to switch between. Let's go back to the home screen, tapping on the menu button on the iDrive controller. So if you select the media tile, the different media sources will pop up in a menu. It's pretty standard stuff. You have your AM, your FM, you have your music collection menu where you can store music and media from a CD, DVD, or USB. Simply select it and it'll give you the option to start importing your files. Scrolling through the submenu in here, you can see how it'll organize all the data for you. We'll tap the back button. Scrolling down one spot, we can select our aux options if you want to plug in an aux device. And just below that, you can see my mobile device is connected to the USB cable. There's CDs and DVDs, and also Bluetooth devices, plus Android screen mirroring, where you could sling what's currently on your Android device to this monitor. Going back, you have other options like snap-in devices, and anything else you may have connected to your NBT Evo. You can also go down to tone in this menu and adjust things like treble, bass, balance, fader, volume settings to make your cabin sound as nice as you'd like it to. There's other options like audio feedback features with your touchscreen or touchpad as well. Again, within each tile menu, you can personalize the options that you want to have displayed. Back in the main menu, if we head over to communications, if you connect your mobile device via Bluetooth, you'll be able to make calls in this menu. You have your BMW Assist subscriptions, also access and create voice memos. Heading back to the main menu and going into navigation, you'd have access to your standard navigation features like you did before. Back in the main menu, we'll scroll to Connected Drive, and if you have BMW subscriptions like news or weather, here's where those features would show up for you to access and change around as you see fit. Now if we go back into the main menu and go into My Vehicle, here you can access all the information that you need about the vehicle itself. Like in vehicle settings, you can access things like lighting, both exterior and interior, info and options about the doors and key. And if you scroll down to the bottom of this menu, here's where you can select a flash for your lock and unlock on your car. Other options are available like a speed warning, driving modes, and comfort ventilation that you can actually schedule for a certain time of day. Leaving the vehicle settings submenu, if you go down to iDrive settings, here's where you can adjust all the options and features of your infotainment settings. At the bottom, you can also see your owner's manual. If you happen to lose your hard copy, you can actually go in here and reference each different part of the vehicle you need to check. And if you select number 6 under infotainment, here you can get some instructions that you may need to connect things like your Apple CarPlay. Another cool option is you can actually search by picture. And another really cool feature about this onboard owner's manual is you can actually see live animated explanations. Here's an example. Once you see the animated explanation you want, go ahead and select it and then select the play button.
The system automatically switches off the engine when the vehicle stops, or when the accelerator is pressed.
This can work great if you happen to forget your glasses. Going back to the main menu, if you tap on your map button on your iDrive controller and hit it a second time, it will then read aloud to you the next step in the navigation. One feature I'd also like to point out is inside your navigation settings, you can actually find something called route settings. Let's say you take a route that's different from what navigation usually offers in order to get to your destination a little quicker that wouldn't normally be suggested by navigation. Well, they may have had some requests about a feature like this because now you have it. It's called Learn Route. Basically, what the system does is it collects your data and it personalizes the route calculation data for you. And let's say you needed to update your navigation software. If you head over to your navigation settings, you'll see that there's an option towards the bottom of that submenu to manually input your current position or update your software, at which point you just follow the prompts given when you want to do so. And within this feature, I'll show you guys something cool about the iDrive controller. When you're trying to enter a destination you want to go, you may or may not know this already, you can actually use the touchpad, which is centrally located on the top portion of the knob itself. You can simply just drag your finger and start drawing out letters, and it'll automatically receive that data and turn it into the text that you need to enter in your information. And when you're within the map of the navigation, you can zoom in and out by simply scrolling the iDrive controller. And if you're traveling in an area that you're not used to and you want to save a location, while you're in the map, simply select your position by pressing in the iDrive controller, and then you can move forward onto naming the position and saving that information to use later. And if you want to change the options displayed on your navigation, just simply tap the option button while you're in navigation on your iDrive controller. And next, if you toggle left while you're in navigation, it'll give you some more options and features that you may or may not use while you're in navigation. One being interactive map at the bottom. It allows you to toggle left to right to discover certain areas on the map that you can select and save, or start a new destination that you'd like to go check out. A newly updated feature on the system is when previously pressing in the mode button, it would cycle between the previously used media source that you had. Now, what it simply does is it toggles to the next available one versus the previous one. If we head over to My Vehicle and go to iDrive Settings, under Language, here is an option where you can actually adjust the voice control. Something I heard out there is that there were complaints about the voice control not working as well under the UK English versus the US English. So if you leave it at the English US, you might have some better results. Another new feature in this system is the speaking during voice output. When the navigation or commands are being read aloud, now you can actually interrupt in the middle of these commands in order to give direction to the system itself. Previously, you had to wait till the commands were completely done before you had a chance to actually speak. Also, keeping in mind that the microphone system is optimized for the driver's position, so know that if your passengers are trying to give commands, they may not register very well. Let's give it a try. If I press the voice command button on the steering wheel, and I say something like, "Bring up the sport display,"
Sport displays.
you can see it pulled it up just fine. Let's give it another try. Go into Navigations.
Navigation. Say a menu option. For example, Map or enter destination.
Enter destination.
Please say the desired address. For example, 300.
I think you get the gist. And if for whatever reason you need to turn the screen off, simply tap your options button and you'll see it there. And simply re-engage your iDrive controller and it'll pop back on. Moving on to communications, once you're in this menu, you can see where you can access your contacts and make phone calls. If you simply go to Manage Mobile Devices, select Connect New Device and follow the prompts. One feature I like to use once my device is connected is voice memos. Also, just like all the other tiles, you can personalize the menu to add or remove different features within it. And if we head to our Connected Drive tile, here you can access other subscription services that you have through BMW, like roadside assistance, customer support, and even if your service center needs to be contacted, you can do it here. Let's head into My Vehicle, then head over to Technology in Action. If we select Efficient Dynamics, we can see the current operating status of your car. Also, within this menu, you can even toggle in between the different driving modes. And within the Sport mode, or Eco Pro mode, you can even configure these options. Also within Efficient Dynamics, you can see what your average driving speed is and what your current miles per gallon usage is. Leaving Efficient Dynamics, if we scroll down and select Driving Style Analysis, you can see some more detailed data about your driving habits. Leaving that menu, you can go back to Technology in Action, and then you can take a gander and see what your xDrive status is, and also check out your sport displays. And if you like to reset the parameters of your average mile per gallon and your average speed, just go back into My Vehicle, select Driving Information, and here you can see the two options. Simply select it, and you'll be prompted with a screen that'll ask you if you'd like to reset. And if you'd like to check out your vehicle status, like the oil levels, your tire pressure levels, or even some other notifications, simply go back to My Vehicle and select Vehicle Status. Here's where you can see tire pressure, oil, notifications, and even recommended services. And you may occasionally see some of these options pop up in your notifications window if your system feels it necessary. Also within My Vehicle menu, you can update your software under iDrive settings and navigate down to Software Update. Simply select the Software Update option and follow the prompts. Another feature in your My Vehicle tile is driver profiles. If you're not the only person that drives your vehicle on a regular basis, the system gives you an option to create a driver profile for each person. Or you take your car to the track and you want to change around the different modes, features, and functions, you can assign those settings to a driver profile. The system also gives you the option to import driver profiles through a USB stick from another vehicle. And something to keep in mind that you can utilize with your driver profiles is if you go into your vehicle settings, you can actually select a speed warning to set up if you happen to have someone that is a newer driver driving your vehicle. I would imagine 6 miles per hour being a little too conservative. You can set it up to as high as you want to as low as you want. The options can even be set to whatever your current driving speed is. Another feature you may want to consider setting up as a driver profile is your exterior lighting control. Like standard BMW vehicles, you have your one-touch turning signal options, as well as your daytime running lamps, welcome lights, and your pathway lighting timer. Other features you may want to consider as a driver profile may include your door key functions. Some people like the option to have the lights flashing whenever they lock their car. Others may have a harder time finding their vehicles inside parking lots, in which case this might be a good option to select. And for the NBT Evo system, that wraps things up. So I'll back up out of the shop and call it a day. Once again, guys, my name is Chaz. Thanks for sticking around and watching this video. If you happen to have any questions, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to see the latest videos that we got here at the shop. See you next time.